Welcome to Peninsula Seniors Out and About. Today we're at the South Coast Botanic Gardens for the Band Organ Rally. We're here at the Band Organ Rally. I'm here with Frank Nix, and he's going to tell us what all we have here. We have quite a few very interesting organs.
I'm a member of a group that owned band organs. We call ourselves the Southern California Band Organ Association. It's made up of members from Automatic Musical Instrument Collectors Association and from Musical Box Society International. Both organizations have members worldwide. Today we have an outing here, a band organ rally, which is the same kind of thing that's taken place in Europe for 200-300 years. People that owned large merry-go-round organs or carousel organs and street organs of all sizes and types would congregate in a town and play their instruments for the public. So that's what we're doing today at the gardens here. What you see here is a Hofbauer street organ. It was built in Germany. The family has been building these organs for over 100 years. This is what they call a 37er. That means it has 37 keys. That's a way of measuring the size of an organ. The 37 keys means it has 37 functions for playing different pipes or different effects in the music. These organs originated with a pin barrel, like a large music box. The pins directed the type of music that was being played or gave a scale to it. They graduated from a barrel organ to a book music organ, which was played by cardboard, like punch cards for IBM, the early IBM machines. It graduated from that to roll music, which you saw on the early pianos, and then it went from that on into a computer system. And that's what this has got. It's got a computer system that tells the pipes to play. On this instrument, in fact on all these instruments, these pipes are all actually playing. They're played by wind or air that's forced through them, which comes from a set of bellows. The bellows are cranked by turning the handle. On this particular machine, the handle turning also activates the electronics in it to direct which pipe to play. Okay, as we move along though, you'll see other arrangements, not just electronic. This electronic setup has cassettes built down in here that have memory in them that contain all the different songs to be played. By pushing one of these numbers here, like the last one I just pushed was this one here, by pushing that one down, I was able to play that particular song. By pushing another number, I'd play a different song. Here we are with Gloria and Ralph Schack. They have two fine German monkey organs or street organs.
This organ was made in the early 1990s by Rudolf Bruns, who lives in Dransfeld, Germany, in a little house, a little tiny town, and he just makes monkey organs. This is one of a group of 12 that he made. And all of the music was arranged by a music box friend of ours who also lives in Germany. His name is Peter Schuchnacht, a nice German name. Whenever I play this organ, I feel like the Pied Piper, and I think when you hear the music, you'll see why. I tell the children that the paper roll is the software, and they all understand that because they know what computers are. I've taken this organ several times to the preschool where my grandchildren go, and we let every child in the school play the organ. I have a little milk crate that I let them stand on, and even if they're only 2 years old and they can't do it very well, they're so proud because they got music out of this little box.
Well, the monkey always gets the top billing in this particular play, but this organ was built in 1994. They built 6 of them. It was made in Germany. And actually, 20 years ago this summer, a European collector made a sensational discovery of some 15 organ rolls in a Berlin flea market. And it turns out these rolls were commissioned in the 1920s for a very famous organ builder, the Bacigalupo family. And they decided to make organs to play the rolls. And so I was fortunate enough to be in Thun, Switzerland in 1991 when the first organ was debuted. And we were lucky to get the very last one. And it's the only one of the 6 that were made that's here in the United States. It has 114 pipes, 72 violins, and 42 flute pipes. And it has 6 registers. I can turn off and turn on various sounds. And it was all handmade by this German organ maker in a very small town in Germany. The monkey has an interesting story too. It turns out that the chief veterinarian for the Berlin Zoo is an organ collector, and so when monkeys die over there, he would preserve the skins. And there's actually a woman in Berlin who then takes the skins and does what she has to do to them, and then builds the monkeys for them. And it has several movements. And it's always a big treat for the kids to see the various movements. I think we'll be playing a selection from the opera The Merry Widow by Franz Lehár. What we have here is this whole organ was handmade by this organ maker, and the pipes that you see up in the front row were made out of bamboo, which he then hollowed out and tuned for the organ, Philippine bamboo. And then all of the rest of the pipes in here, there are flute pipes and violin pipes, were handmade, and as you can see, the craftsmanship of the workmanship here. It's just a marvel of craftsmanship throughout. A total of 114 pipes, 72 violin pipes and 42 flute pipes. This is just how it works. It's a band that I'm pulling in air that then goes through the chamber here, through the tracker bar, matching the holes punched in the roll. And there are long rolls. It depends on the length of the tune. You can sometimes get 5 or 6 tunes on a roll. And the cart we had built right here in the States. The rest of it came from Europe. On the side here are the levers that turn on and off various sets of pipes. These are the organ stops, just like you would find in a regular organ. And I can turn off various ranks of pipes, sections of pipes, and so forth to get different sounds. The intarsia, the front of the organ, was actually done in Italy to the design of one of the fellows who he actually got the first organ, and he designed the intarsia for all of us. And it was done by an Italian firm, and the maker's name is right here. Well, this little guy, if you're going to have a monkey, this is the kind to have. He doesn't eat at all, and doesn't mess up at all, and he's kind of fun just the same. He has several motions. He was made in Germany, in Berlin, by a young woman who makes them for us organ grinders. Real monkey fur, and he has several motions. For one, his eyes can follow the crowd or the kids, whoever comes along. He can tip his hat. He has something most people can't do, is move their ears and their eyebrows. And he opens his mouth, and if you're really naughty, he'll stick out his tongue at you. And he also can do this, which is a sign over there in Europe of somebody who's crazy. So he does that for us. And again, he's lots of fun, and once you get him, he's of virtually no cost.
This is Don Henry with a fine English organ mounted on a street organ mounted on a golf cart made up to look like a fire engine. It's quite unique. He can move it any place he likes.
Hello there. I'm Don Henry, member of AMICA, the Automatic Musical Instrument Collectors Association, and this is the fire organ. This is as Frank mentioned, it's an English organ, but it's made in the style of the old Dutch street organs. It was manufactured by Alan Pell. It's a fairly recent organ. It was manufactured in the last 15 years. Alan Pell is still making organs and is considered one of the finest organ builders in the world. This is a 30-key instrument, and it has about 75 pipes. And as you heard, it makes a lot of music. The organ has several different types of pipes. The ones in the front here are the flute pipes. Behind those are the violin pipes. See on either side there's percussion, a bass and snare drum and cymbal. And then behind that is a set of bells or a glockenspiel. And then on the front we have two animated dolls. Down below, the paintings on the front are actual oil paintings. On the sides there's porcelain tiles or ceramic tiles that as you can see, make nice little vignettes. This is another set of tiles imported from Holland. that that became part of the facade of the organ. We have an original ambulance siren from a 1950s ambulance. Just in case the organ doesn't make enough noise, we can add a little more with the siren. And as you can see, small fires are our specialty. And just in case things get a little too hot, we have a genuine fire hose on the side of the organ to put out any of those small fires that might be created by the hot music.
This is Bob Meyer. He's clear from San Diego. That shows the dedication we have in our group. He has here a couple of homemade street organs that were made with a design by John Smith in England. But Bob did all the work himself, including build all the pipes and the bellows and the chests and everything. And he'll play them for you and explain them to you.
I guess we can start with the smaller one. This is the one I built first. It has 20 notes and 20 pipes. So there's one note for each pipe. It has a paper roll, and I'll turn the crank. So that's how that one works. They both work in a similar way, and I'll point to some things down here. This is a bellows made with leather that you can see here, and then this part is a reservoir that accumulates the air so to sort of smooth out the airflow. And this particular organ has 26 notes in its scale, and there are 84 pipes, I think, because each of these sets of pipes here, there are 5 extra sets, and they have a different tone to them, so I can change them while I'm playing. So the knobs that control which set of pipes play. The front 2 sets are stopped flutes, which is a flute pipe with a stopper in it, and that makes the note play an octave lower. And the particular combination here, these pipes that are behind the front ones are tuned slightly sharp, so there's a wavering sound, and that's called the Dutch organ sound. The third set are very high piccolo pipes. You may have heard them in the tune I played. The fourth set are, I guess what you'd call them, regular flute pipes. They're open flutes. They have a sort of a sharper flute sound. And the back row is interesting. They actually have a string sound to them. I'll pull one out. The pipe's very narrow, making it have a lot of harmonics and a stringy sound. And this special brass piece called a harmonic frame stabilizes the sound so that it plays a note that's smooth, but it has a stringy sound to it. I did build this myself. I built both of these myself. The smaller one, it took about a year off and on. I didn't work on it continuously, but it was a fairly simple project. If you're able to do some moderate woodworking, the pipes on this one are actually made of balsa wood. So if you've made model airplanes in the past, it's very similar to that. Cut a lot of little pieces of wood, glue them together, and it's not really that hard. On the larger one, it's a much more ambitious project. It has 84 pipes. Each pipe has about 11 pieces of wood in it. So it takes a long time to make all the pipes. The actual mechanism with the bellows and the other parts is much more complicated also. It took about a year with doing something every day. I tried to even if it was 5 minutes, I went out in the garage and worked on it for 5 minutes, so I didn't lose energy, because it's easy to not do something for a couple of days, and then pretty soon it's been a month since you've been working on it. So each one of these pipes is made out of separate pieces of wood. I think there are 4, 5, 6, 7, about 11 pieces of wood that you have to cut separately, make sure they're the right size, glue them together, and then adjust these two front pieces to make the tone correct. And then on this particular pipe, the little stopper slides in and out to tune the exact note you want. And then it attaches on here with all the rest of them. This organ has 84 pipes, and I made each one of them. And there are 26 notes in the scale that it plays, so some of the pipes are duplicated. There are 5 sets here of 13 that you can turn on and off, as we saw before, with the knobs on the side. There are 84 pipes in this organ. Some of them are bass pipes, which are in the bottom. I guess the camera can't see them, but there are 5 bass pipes down below. On the sides here, there are accompaniment pipes. There are 8 of those, and then there are 5 sets of 13 in the melody section, so I can turn these on and off to change the sound of the melody.
This is the father and son team of Philip and Daniel Wright, and they have 2 what we call busker organs here. Again, they're the designs from John Smith in England, but Dan has gone to an awful lot of trouble to make special facades for them that move, and he took a lot of time figuring them out. And anyway, they always show up at our band organ rallies and play these wonderful instruments for us. Here you go, Dan.
Thanks, Frank. These are both 20-note organs based on the 20-note scale. Each one has 20 little wooden pipes in it. We built the basic organ, runs off of a paper roll, and then we designed the facade to incorporate some animation features in it. This one's a little bit larger, has a little bit more air pressure, so it has a slightly louder voice to it. Also on that same 20-note scale. Here you can see the paper roll moving across the tracker bar, allowing the air to travel through into the pipes. The low notes are down on the far end closest to me, and then the high notes up at the top. Here's the crankshaft, and then the power comes back to here. and moves the various features of the animation. And then the monkey's jaw is actuated by a little lever on the back of the organ. We usually wait till the little kids are standing around and then give them a grin. Here you can see the same basic power takeoff of the crankshaft coming in, moving the various animation pieces. I spent about 3.5 months building this one. A good half of the time is spent on the facade work. The organ itself, I can put the basic organ together in about 60 hours, but it takes at least twice that to make the front. I basically designed the front artwork knowing how I wanted it to move, and then worked back inside of the organ to find places where I could tap off to get some movement to control the little animation. As the crankshaft turns, we take the power off of the crankshaft with this brass link that moves the wood pieces to animate the bird's wings.
This is Loyd Osmundson, one of our longtime members, and he has here a Brut organ made in Waldkirch, Germany. Waldkirch was the center for organ building clear back in the 1850s and clear on up through until about World War II. So I'll let Loyd tell you about his organ, the size and dating and so forth. Here you go, Loyd.
Alfred Bruder organ. The Bruder family built organs in Waldkirch for, 150 years, maybe 200 years or so.
Like that.
This is one of the sons down through the line, and I think he only made, maybe 20 organs in his whole lifetime. We estimated just about 20 organs. This one was built about, 1930, give or take a year or two. It has 105 pipes. It plays on what we call book music, and we'll probably show you a little later on how that works. But it's been restored on the facade by my wife, who's an artist. She did gold leaf, silver leaf, and we touched up a lot of the spots and redid the painting on the front, which had a very unusual orange-colored decor originally, which we didn't like. So.
This is Richard Ingram, the talented Richard Ingram. You can notice they can play a piano without even touching the keys. Anyway, this is an automatic player piano, and Richard's going to tell you all about it.
Well, basically, my brother and I got it from a piano store about 15 years ago, and it was an old crummy-looking player piano. We paid $100 for it, and we decided to do something with it to make it look better. So my brother, the artist in the family, said we should make it red, white, and blue, and then basically just blossomed from there. Okay, well, basically, the way a player piano works is you have a roll drive motor, and it works off a vacuum, and it's kind of like an engine in your car. It has bellows, which are actually like the pistons, and it has the crankshaft and connecting rods and valves, and so that drives the motor. And like you can see it. And then basically there's a vacuum pump down below, and that provides the vacuum to each time the roll passes over the tracker bar and opens a hole, that allows the valves to open and allows vacuum into each pneumatic, and then that strikes the note. So it's actually a pretty simple invention. It was made 100 years ago. And then, of course, in the 1920s, player pianos were very popular in America. And I heard at one time there was over 1,500 piano manufacturers in the United States alone. We've had it in a couple parades. 1999, we had it in the Hesperia Days parade and got first place for a commercial float. This award right here is for the Victorville Christmas parade, and we got second place for a commercial float. Basically what we did is put it on the back of a trailer and had a power supply that would power the motor, and we just drive down the parade route and play Christmas songs for the Christmas one, and then of course regular songs for the other one, and it's quite a lot of fun. We have about 200 rolls that go with the instrument. Of course, our collection at home is quite extensive, so in the thousands. What drew me to the player piano is being musically inclined and mechanically inclined. A friend of mine brought home 2 player pianos, and she asked me if I knew how to work on them, and I said no, but I'll look at it. And I got one of them working for her, and she decided she didn't need 2, so she told me I could have the other one if I did some work for her. So I did some carpentry work on her house, and she gave me the piano, and the rest is history.
This is Robin Biggins. He is chairman of Music Box Society International's publications. And he's got here his little Molinari monkey organ, and I'll let him tell you about it.
This was made in Brooklyn, New York by the Molinari Company in about 1910. And it was used extensively back east in Chicago and New York City, a lot of the East Coast cities. And actually there became so many of them around back there that they were outlawed in New York City by Mayor LaGuardia because of complaints from various people, just for the noise and the fact that people were using them to solicit money. But some of them have survived. They're out in all kinds of weather, and so it's amazing that they did survive. A lot of these have been restored, of course, and new parts made for them. But I'll play one tune which is typical of New York tunes that they used. It's a very appropriate tune since this was made in New York. So the Sidewalks of New York is a great tune to be pinned on that. It plays six different tunes. I actually got into musical boxes first, and then this one I noticed just in the Daily Breeze classified section, and I bought it and we restored it about 25 years ago. So yeah, just once you start to know about them, they get more and more interesting, and there's such a variety of mechanical music out there, from organs to pianos to music boxes and violins and all sorts of things, that you just can't help yourself. Everybody, once they get bitten by the bug.
Yeah, Robin is one of the top restorers of music boxes in the United States. People send him music boxes from actually all around the world. This is Ardis Prescott. She's playing a Bacigalupo, which is quite a famous old organ built in Berlin, and it is barrel operated. Again, it's the keys signal the different pipes to play, and she's going to play a fairly popular song here, La Paloma. In the front here, you see piccolo pipes. They're a very high-pitched pipe. And then behind that wall there, you see the edge of the valve, or the edge of the rocker arm that works the valves. In the back, you'll notice the big barrel. It's just like you would read paper music or piano music or whatever. Each one of those keys is a different note. They operate little rocker arms. They push up on these little pins, or the pins push up on these little keys, which work over on this side to open a valve, and that lets air go to a particular pipe. On these real old machines, a plus is to have what we call the tune sheet or tune card. There's looks like about 4 or 5 waltzes, a couple of foxtrots, a couple of tangos, a couple of marches. This is the oldest type of technology for these organs. These barrels like this were used clear back in the 1500s, and they operated all kinds of equipment. Robin will be playing a monkey organ or a street organ built by Jaeger Brammer. Jaeger Brammer are located in Walkirch, Germany. They're a major manufacturer of small street organs and larger organs too. You'll notice that it'll have, when Robin starts playing, you'll notice the figures on the front here move. This is fairly prevalent in Europe. You don't see that very much here in the United States, but there's a lot more of these type of instruments over there. Waldkirch was a center for organ building like this for actually over 200 years. This is a roll-operated organ. Roll operation came along around 1900. This is Herb Mercer, and he'll be playing a Stüben monkey organ, or street organ again, made in Germany. And it was previously owned by the late Frank Ryder, who was a well-known enthusiast of the larger organs and street organs back in Indiana. And he owned quite a large collection, but when he passed away, some of his collection went up for sale, and Herb was able to buy this Stüben. So go ahead, Herb. This is another example of the painting they do in Germany. This is painting on tile. They have some really top-notch organ builders over there as far as the decoration as well as the music itself. This is one of our newest members. This is Rick Shaw, and he's brought with him his German monkey organ or street organ, and he's going to tell you all about it.
Hi, this particular organ was made by Franz Orlean in Germany. He was making these back in the 80s and I think up until the 90s, and he's now retired. These were handcrafted, and you'll notice on the front that there's a little automaton in there, and some of these items in the automaton move. The band plays and the dog goes around, and the lady taking the tickets works. There's one ear that got broken in here, and so I've got to fix it, and that's the little weightlifters. They don't want to work. And these little circus things crank up and down. When you want to restore it, you can take the flags and drop the flags down and close the lid down on the little unit. And this, like the other ones, use a crank to make the pump go up and down. And at the same time, it has a chain-driven device that plays the automaton in there and also makes the rolls go around, or actually these play on books, and I'll show you the books in the back. You can't see the pipes right now because they're boxed inside behind these and underneath this organ. This plays 39 pipes, and each of the notes are right through this tracker bar, and they're played by these little books of music when you crank the music.
Thank you for joining Peninsula Seniors out and about in the gardens for the Band Organ Rally. I'm Betty Wheaton. We'll see you next time.